Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am a minute early, yes, to the Katie's Arms. So welcome one, welcome all. And I'm glad you're all here. It's quite remarkable. I've managed to put the Katie's Arms on at the right time this week. So hooray for me. 8 o'clock on a Friday. So, oh, I've got cramp in my leg. Oh, sorry, just cocked my leg up the wrong way and got cramp in my leg. 8 o'clock on a Friday UK time is when we try and do the Katie's Arms. So I'm delighted you're all here with me, and I'm very proud of myself for being here at the right time. So my view as we're sat here together, I'm now in LA. I'm just off of Sunset Boulevard, and I don't know if you know it or you've been here. I'm looking up and down one of the biggest freeways in the whole of LA. So there's 6 lanes each side, and there's this constant stream of traffic going up and down, and the Getty Museum is just on top of the mountain over there. So that's where I am now, and I'm so pleased to be with you all. It's been a really exciting few days here with, crowds of people turning out at events and feeling better because we're all in the same room together, and being happy to see people without their ridiculous masks on and all the idiocy that you're suffering and enduring in the UK and other states as well, and other places here in California, and also people crying a lot. So I'm finding that, when you really cuddle people, you cuddle them, and then it's almost like a year's worth of sadness is there. Like, I don't know if you know, but you're carrying this around with you like a big pond, like a swimming pool on your chest, because there's been so little human interaction. Do you think in a normal year, all the times you may have been with people or cried with people or laughed with people or had fun with people or had crazy nights that you can't remember? We haven't had those things. So people are carrying around these big emotional pools of stuff that they haven't offloaded. And so that's a lot of what's going on here as well, is people offloading how they feel about stuff. Now, I have a range of props around me, which is very exciting for the Katie's Arms this week. I swear to God, at 20 past, I'm going to really, really try and answer some questions. We have said, haven't we, that every week I say this and every week I don't do it, but I'm really, really going to try. I'm really going to try. One thing I wanted to share with you first, which is a load of old bollocks, but helps to just distract us from the craziness we're surrounded by, is this. Never, ever, ever get these. Moon cheese. So I told you people come up to me with snacks now because everyone assumes that I'm so small and anorexic that I need to eat all the time, which is the opposite of true. I eat all of the time. It just burns off. Never eat this, moon cheese. I'm concerned about moon cheese anyway, because I think when we were at school, we used to talk about knob cheese. I don't know if anybody else ever talked about knob cheese. It's not an appropriate thing. Mother, if you're watching, Monty Don. Go on. This is pub chat. I don't, A, like a snack called moon cheese. B, I don't like being reminded about knob cheese. And C, don't buy these. They're nasty. They're supposed to be bits of cheese. Cheddar believe it. That isn't even an expression, is it? Cheddar believe it. Who wrote that on the front of that and thought that worked? Crunchy bites of golden delight. I don't really want crunchy bites of knob cheese as a snack. I'm just thinking. Anybody else? Yeah, see, there's some people here who know the knob cheese thing. So I don't know if it's an American thing. I doubt it. Now, on a better note, and no one is suicidal here. I'm not. Some people are, and many of us have been, and no judgment. But a very great thing about America is that, in the UK, they have this bullshit rule, don't they? You have to buy one paracetamol, and then you have to get help. You have to get someone to come to the desk and approve that you're allowed to buy one frickin' paracetamol because you're 40 years old and you're not allowed to be in control of how many frickin' paracetamols you're allowed to buy. None of that shit here in America. I don't know how many. 225. You can buy 225 ibuprofen, whatever these are called, in here. And then at the same time, I could have bought 100 of these. These you can buy, and there are, how many's in here? This is ibuprofen, so this must be paracetamol. 200, there's 360 in here. Now, the thing that's funny about this is not that I've got access to a lot of drugs, because, that's not clever or grown up. But what it is that I can actually make this decision myself. I can go to a till point myself, and I can scan this out myself without some slightly overweight person in a polyester jacket in Superdrug having to call a supervisor because I tried to buy 2 packs of 12 of chuffing paracetamol. And I think that's like an example of how America is different to the UK, right? They trust people to like decide their own shit about their lives. And if you did choose to end your life, well, okay, that's your choice too. And no silly daft idiot is going to try and stop you by stopping you buy more than 2 packets of paracetamol. Can you tell? That's something that's really annoyed me. Now, on a more serious note, shall I do serious next or shall I do annoying rant next? I think I better do annoying rant because it feels more like it's in theme with what we're talking about. I should clarify as well, no, I'm not drunk. No, I haven't been drinking. This is how I am. This is standard me. This is normal. This level of extra is how I operate. It's got nothing to do with drugs, although I'm not against people drinking or drugs or anything, because frankly, whatever you've got to do to get through your goddamn day is it. Why am I so obsessed with fat people? I'm not really. I'm not. Because we have socialised healthcare, which is the NHS, and people think it's free. It's like breaking news to a lot of people that the NHS isn't free. I mean, this was in the day when the NHS was actually useful, not now, where it's just a bag of shit and no one can get, any treatment for anything because everyone has to pretend that there's COVID and they're too busy, even when they're sat on their asses, and actually staff are being asked to bring in board games because there's fuck all to do. But in the days when the NHS was actually serving people, it's socialised healthcare. People used to say it's free. It's not free, you see. So taxpayers pay for it. So it's not that I'm obsessed by fat people. I just really, really enjoy people owning their own problems. Like I own my issues all the time. So if you want to be really fat, that's perfect. But then if you need a new hip, I need you to pay for that. I don't want to pay for it. But all of that is null and void now because no one's getting a new hip because we've all had to pretend that COVID meant that hospitals couldn't function anymore, which was obviously all bullshit as well. I should mention, I'm not back in the UK. Really sorry. I apologise. I feel guilty that I'm not there. But I believe Saturday the 24th, I want to check that date, is correct. There's going to be a meeting, isn't there, that I think it would be really good. Obviously, none of us could absolutely in any way encourage people to attend things that you're not supposed to attend. I will try and find the details, but I think Saturday the 24th is the day for our team, isn't it now? Not that anyone would know anything about an event in London in support of common sense, but, if there was such a meeting, what we definitely want to do is find out about it. Now, I want to talk to you about the nonsense of people pretending that because of COVID you can't do normal things like eat in a restaurant or have lunch. Here in this hotel, they're doing the same shit. So they've shut down the restaurant for no reason whatsoever, and now you can only get takeout, which I disagree with. But I was starving my arse off, so I had to order some food because I was about to fall over. This is how my lunch arrived. So massive, chuffing great, Amazon-sized. Bear in mind, I eat, I do eat a lot, but I don't eat like I'm not a fat chubber. I didn't order like 85 McDonald's. So this chuffing great bag, so 1 plastic cup, this pot of something. I only ordered like a sandwich, right? Plastic knife, another bag inside the big bag, a smaller bag. More plastic stuff. You're not allowed plastic straws in California, but sure, carry on with the plastic cutlery. There was 2 of these, which are plastic bottom, plastic top with other shit in, and then napkins and all the rest of it. So, all of these kind of, we're so environmental, lockdown, COVID lockdown's going to become the green lockdown. This is the level of packaging shit they're handing out just for one person to get one sandwich. I'm sure you've all seen it when you've got takeout. How much freaking packaging are we putting into the planet whilst we're being told we're not allowed a hairdryer that blows out more than, some 85-year-old giving a blowy? Who are these mentalists? Why do I need this packaging shit? And how is it saving me from COVID? It's not. Assholes. Greta Thunberg, asshole. Okay, I feel better. I will just put my packaging away. But you can see the point I'm saying. If that's just one little old me with one little old lunch, how much packaging in a regular day here in California is going on? Well, I'm glad you're all laughing, darling. Look at everybody. Good, I'm glad you're laughing. Laugh with me, laugh at me. But frankly, darlings, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me if we're laughing at me, not at all, as long as we're down laughing. Only one thing I did like about the packaging, apart from hating it all, is this, which was my condiments. So my condiments came in this, a bit more packaging, obviously. Look what it says. Eat, love, live. So they nearly got it, because I say, love, laugh. What do I say? Live, laugh, love. What do I say? Sound like Joe Biden. Live, laugh, love. They've got eat, love, live. Eat. I don't know. Love, laugh, live. It's better. Live, laugh, love. Yeah, that's it. Hold on. I'm going to write it down. Yeah, that's what I say. Live, laugh, love is better. They've got eat, love, live. Which is sort of true, but it's quite American, isn't it, actually? Because if you eat too much, not many people are going to love you, and you're not going to live for very long. So actually, I think they may have cocked up a bit with this, but they were they were headed down the right lines. Right, that's my packaging rant done. How is everybody doing? Let's see. London's good. London, here we come. Yes, good. So I will try and keep talking about this, but clearly, I've got a funny story about my daughter as well. Clearly, there are some things that you can imagine I'm being watched for. But, if there were to be a gathering anytime in London involving like the 24th or something, it would be a great idea, wouldn't it, if we were all there? And I appreciate you can say, Katie, you daft ass, you're not here. Some people are also saying, like, Katie, it's all very well you gadding about in the States, you should be here in the fight with us. I get it. Like, my whole heart is my country. I signed up to serve my country for 35 frigging years. I said I would be the first female general. And I was in the army, always. That was all I ever wanted to do, was fight for my country. So my epilepsy meant I had to leave the army. And I understand how people with epileptic seizures might not be the best people to have automatic weapons. But that's why I fight for my country still, I think. That even though I couldn't be in the military, I still fight. But the sad truth of it, of course, is I can't fight in the speaking sense in the UK because there's not one single venue in the UK that will have me. So despite being able to fill 400, 500 seats here, there's not one place in the UK that would host me because the mob will go and burn them down or hunt them down. And that's happened previously in other places that I've tried to speak in. So I understand people's anger with me not being in the country when I'm trying to do my speaking. At least when I'm here, I'm able to speak about what's going on in the UK and the fact that children have to wear stickers to school to show that they're unclean. But you know what? Someone with a pair of balls open up a freaking venue, surround it with the military, and I'm there to speak. And I think you have to ask yourself these days, why aren't I allowed to speak in the UK? How harmful is this? I mean, obviously, my face is quite offensive at times, but we live in a country in the UK where I'm not allowed to stand on a stage and speak. That's quite mad. That's the power of the dark forces that control this place. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. So I wanted to just briefly talk to you more seriously for a second, about what the shit is going on in the UK. And I can feel it now all around you, and you can feel it as well, I'm sure. But I can see how like if I was writing the media plan for this, if I was writing the media strategy, this is what I would write. So they're going to change from COVID lockdown, right, to green lockdown. Yeah, they're just going to hand it across, okay, like this. It's already happening now. They are doing this, and people aren't quite seeing it yet, but the mainstream media has been briefed and is utterly complicit. So if you have a little look round, do a 360 around your head. Oh, Prince Harry's talking about Environmental Day and posting pictures of chuffing gorillas. Prince Harry can fuck right off. Here's Greta Thunberg, and she's come back to talk about this, and she says this, and she says she's not a something bunny, Greta Thunberg, and then it's World Something Day, and then we're going to CP26, the sort of environmental bullshit day, and now Boris said something about green, and we're going to be this by 2026, and now British people definitely don't want to fly abroad this year, they want to stay in the UK. Oh, flying sounds like a terrible idea. Seen those headlines? They're surrounding you. Hold on, I feel a thingy coming on, a whiteboard coming on. This is you here. I mean, it does make your head look quite small. Obviously, just adding some boobs. just for the funsies. They're not my boobs, but, you know, we can aspire, my darlings. This is you. They are surrounding you like this, and they are going to fire at you. Just watch the media at work. This is exactly how I would do it as well. Is they're going to surround you by touch points that tell you that green is the new thing. And now we don't want to have cars, do we? Oh, no. And now we don't want to go abroad ever. And we think it's okay that we can only go 7 miles from our home address. And it's fine that we can only use public transport. And no, we won't be allowed to access steaks or meat. And oh, isn't Greta Thunberg marvellous? This is what they are doing to you. And this is what I believe COVID was all about. Was about schooling us ready to be programmed for a green lockdown that changes the way the planet operates. Now, you can call me a psycho conspiracy theorist, and that's absolutely fine. You can disagree with me completely, absolutely fine. And we don't have to agree at all. So many people write and say, I used to freaking hate you, I disagreed with everything, but now you speak sense. You know, if my phone doesn't stop beeping, I'm going to throw it out the window. I'm actually going to do that. Thanks for everyone messaging. It's very nice of you, but, you know, busy. So what I feel about it is we don't have to agree ever. What we don't have to do is try and get other people to agree with us either. Not trying to do that. But what's really weird, if you listen to people that say, I used to hate everything you said, I used to completely disagree with you, but now you're onto something, now you're right. And where they're coming from that is that they're the only one that thinks the right way. And once they're in agreement with you, it must be that now you're right as well. What they never, or maybe you never ask yourself is, were you right before? Like, just because we didn't agree, it didn't make you right and me wrong, right? It just made us have different opinions. So people say to me, you used to talk a load of old shit, but I agree with everything you say now. What if I always said the right thing and you just were slow to catch up? Anyway, it's just a thought. But yeah, so I think that's exactly where we're headed. They're going to come for your cars. I think within 5 years, British people won't be allowed to own a private vehicle. And I will continue to sound like a nutter saying those things. And I accept that, absolutely. And I know that in 5 years' time, were we not allowed to have a vehicle, nobody's going to come back and say, you know that Katie Bird, she was onto something, the old cow. So it's not about that either. It doesn't matter to me what they're going to take from me. It really makes no odds. They took everything. I don't have stuff anymore, which is why I guess I'm one of the only people maybe that you know speaking out or speaking my truths, because I have nothing to protect. And that's kind of the sad thing, isn't it, about mental health ambassadors or celebrities trying to get booked on Strictly, or, you know, with their managers or their PR companies or their reps trying to get them booked on shit. The only way they're getting booked on those shows is if they don't tell you the truth and they toe the line. And I guess that's the system. We know it, but just also you should know that. You know, that's the reason you're not getting any real information from anyone. Why reality TV stopped being interesting, because everyone was too scared of not being liked to just say their shit. That's why there's this void. And I guess that's why I'm slightly filling it now, because people are like, hold on a minute. No one else is telling us the damn truth. Where'd they all go? Okay, it's 20 past. I'm going to take questions. I'm going to try and take questions from I don't know what this thing is. Look, come on, don't expect me to be like techie tech. I'm nearly bloody 50 years old, darlings. I'm going to try and read them on here. And then I'm going to try, rather than press the question-y thing, because my brain will probably explode. So if you don't come up with any good questions, frankly, I'm just going to carry on talking about what the shit I want to talk about. We don't give a shit anymore, Katie. No fucks given. Well, yeah, I think that's exactly right. And some people talking about them taking my house. Yeah, I had to sell my family home to clear the court costs I had, because I went to court to fight back against a court case that I know is wrong. The idea that you can seriously harm someone with a tweet that you have deleted, retracted, apologised for, offered to meet the individual involved, was a very bonkers thing. But there was a new law made just for me that made it that caused serious harm, and no serious harm had to be proven. And so in order to clear that and to stop the then 40, 50 cases that arrived on my doorstep the next day, from BBC journalists, police officers in the West Midlands, all the people that had ever had a gripe with me about me exposing them, I had to go down an insolvency process in order that I own nothing, in order that those court cases would stop coming. And unfortunately, that law still stands. If someone says that they perceive you seriously harmed them on a tweet or any other form of communication, that's sufficient for you to have to pay them damages. And that's why I fought it all the way, because I didn't want other people being caught in that litigation. But they brought in the first transgender judge on the circuit to make up a new law in order to take my home. I'm not complaining. I have no sympathy for myself. This is not a pity party. I've never really spoken about it before because I try and have some kind of pride. But that's exactly what went on. So, so I own nothing. My kids don't use my surnames either because it means that they're less likely to be attacked. But, that's just how that's how we roll. That's how we roll, babes. Right, okay, look, I'm going to try and press. I'm trying to add you. I'm trying to get... I can't do questions. Where's my jewellery from? Okay, this is a good question. So So listen. I can't be taking myself too seriously, can I? Like, I'm an influencer. I'm going to be in Dubai really soon, guys, in like a bikini, being paid to be there. Does it mean I have to blow a footballer? How exciting. It's always from Etsy or someone small that makes stuff in their own lounge. So I just buy anything from places that someone directly gets the money. This is definitely from Etsy. Go on Etsy and you can see these. They're really cheap, and it goes to the lady who actually makes them. So please do that, because I love everybody on Etsy because we're not involving Amazon, and Amazon are clearly a bunch of bastards. Come to Birmingham, darlings. I would get me a venue in Birmingham. Get me a stand-up gig. Get me a venue. This is a Katie's Arms challenge. Get me a bloody venue and I will come. I will come anywhere. And we need a venue owner that will say, this is going to happen. And that's the trick of the damn thing, is that we just can't get those venues because the mob threaten the people that own the venues. A theatre would work perfectly. And I tell you what, we'd have such a laugh. I'm going back to Colorado because they've asked me to do one night more of stand-up. And there's a bar, we're going to have a band. It's opening at 5, I'm on at 7. That's what we need to be doing right now. And I don't give a shit whether it's allowed or not. That's not a thing. Like, the time for asking permission is over, and the time for waiting for an answer is through. I don't give a shit about permissions. Let's just find if we can find a venue in the UK, I will be there. It could be someone's house. I mean, that could work, but obviously they'll come and firebomb your house afterwards. Come to my house in Birmingham. Hey, do you know what? It's quite a good idea, actually. We could go house to house doing house parties in Birmingham. That would freak the Muslim massive out, wouldn't it? And no, I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate fat people. I don't actually hate anyone. I haven't got time, babes. When you've got to try and keep your shit together, I haven't got time to hate people. What I don't like is when diversity means no white people. And what I don't like is when we start messing with policing and religion and crossing over those two things. And what I don't like is when one particular religion gets to take offence at everything and threatens to chop people's heads off. So the fact that 2 jihadis came to my home to chop my head off, and that my home had to be rigged with panic alarms, that doesn't mean that I hate Muslims. It just means I'm kind of wary about a culture that wants to chop my head off for talking about things. Yeah, so those are different things. Maybe if a couple of jihadis tried to come and chop your head off, you would get more of a perspective of where I'm coming from, right? And point B, at some point the left in the UK are going to have to choose, right? LGBT or the Muslim massive. They're going to have to choose. And the Muslim massive is where the Labour power base lies. So if you're LGBT in the UK, I'm telling you, your days are numbered. You better hope they start building 1-story houses, darlings, because you're getting chucked off the top of one sometime soon. That's that's neither here nor there, other than the lefty lizard will always eat its own tail. Anyway, trying to not go down a political route too much, because that's not what this is about. This is about making people feel better. But yes, they came for my head. Now they went to prison. They wanted my head as a wedding present. Like we say, most people just go to John Lewis, but fucking jihadis, no, has to have a head. Jesus. Would I ever go on to I'm a Celebrity? Oh, bless your soul, I already did. I was in the jungle. I was booted out second, I think. I was real quiet because I didn't eat. You literally don't eat on I'm a Celebrity. And also I was a bit useless because anything they did to me, it didn't really bother me. So they did that whole thing where they buried me in a plastic coffin with cockroaches and then dangled me over a gorge, and I was just like, "Meh, yeah, well, that's the best you got." So I guess I'm same with SAS Who Dares Wins. I wouldn't go on it now anyway out of principle because of what they did to Ant and the lads, and they've completely fucked over that show by trying to make it that, you know, you can't possibly have a show unless it's got 18 black people in and 2 transgender lesbians. But I'd love to do SAS Who Dares Wins in its original format. And I was through on the selection of that, but then the executive producers got involved and were like, we are not having that Nazi bitch anywhere near SAS. But I think I'd be pretty awesome at that because I'm not really, I can't see them breaking me. So yeah, sorry, got a bit. I'd love to see you on Big Brother if it came back. Yeah, I love being in Big Brother actually. It was like a little rest for me. It was kind of a holiday. Got on brilliantly with everybody in there, including like Michelle Visage. You know, we were super close in there. And since she came out, she had to kind of re-distance herself. But I guess the point is when you spend time with me normally, like we do here on Katie's Arms, it's easier for people to see that I'm just a kind of regular mum with a fair bit to say, who doesn't take herself too seriously. And that's why I guess Big Brother kind of worked. Any thoughts? I could do SAS Australia. I'm well up for it. I'm up for it. I was up for the SAS UK. But no, SAS Australia, if they haven't messed around with the lads and they've left the lads running the show how they should be doing, if they haven't pushed some bullshit diversity agenda, I would definitely do it. I just don't think Australia would let me in either. What's my biggest comic influence? Oh no, I'm going to forget her name. Jewish lady. She died allegedly she died having plastic surgery. She was so fierce. And my brain has just gone blank. You're going to know. Story about your daughter. Oh, yes, I have to tell you. Well, I don't know if I should tell you. So all of my children work because I always worked. So I worked from 14. We'll have to do this one day in the Katie's Arms because we're running to the end, aren't we? But maybe we'll bring it for next time. We'll do my daughter. I've never talked about my children, but there's good stories. But we'll leave it that next time on the Katie's Arms, we'll do stories from home, maybe a little. I don't know how I feel about that. But certainly for me, I always worked. I worked from the age of 14 in the Wimpy with those red dungarees. Mine were always too short and right up my foof. So when I used to like waitress to the table with a bender in a bun, do you remember Bender in a Bun? Joan Rivers, thank you. Who's that? Kenna, thank you. I'm so ashamed. Joan Rivers, she's I miss her. I wish I'd met her. And I want to be her. And her dedication to craft she had thousands of drawers of her jokes and material organised by category, by topic. Everything. She's everything. Anyway, so next week we'll do that. But yeah, so I always worked at McDonald's, £1.40 an hour. My foof, kind of cleft as I served Bender in a Bun to tables in Bideford. And then I was the McDonald's girl. So my kids all work now. So my 14-year-old, they all had jobs from 14. And so I have a story about my daughter who works on a farm. But so we'll talk about that. 1 second, there's somebody at my door. Hold on. Hello? I'm just doing something. Can I come to you in a second?
Sure.
Thanks.
Are you going to be extending?
I'll be down in a second. Thank you so much. Okay, just dealt with. Why is that gentleman trying to check me out? Maybe I think I'm supposed to leave my hotel room today. I'm booking again. Okay, I might just go and sort out the fact that I'm now homeless. And I just slammed the door in the face of some sweet man who's trying to sort me out. But anyway, I will talk about jobs and things next week because I think that will be helpful. But I also wonder if you're a young person out there and you don't have a job, get a freaking job. If you've never waitressed, I know there's no jobs right now, but waitress, scrub stuff, clean stuff, be a cleaner. It's really the best thing you can do. I was such a shit cleaner. It was brilliant because I never wanted to be a cleaner, clearly. So I have such great cleaning. If you're going to be a cleaner, I've got great tips for you. So I didn't actually used to change the bed sheets on the beds. I used to get the iron out of the wardrobe, plug it in, iron the bed sheets, give them a little dust off, get the pubes off and things, bit of crunchy, blah, 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 iron it, and then you don't have to change anything. Like, brilliant. Then also, the kettles, you must know that's what happens with kettles in, those cheap, shitty kettles. You remember? Well, remember a time when you used to go to hotels and like have fun? Remember those days? Those kettles, people piss in those the whole time. Like, I found so much piss in kettles. So never ever use a kettle in a cheap hotel room if the potato in a wig ever lets you go anywhere or have fun ever again in your whole life. Because people just piss in them, basically. So you're making tea where people piss. And if it was me that changed your room, I'd never change the sheets either, just so you know that. And I used to use the clean towels to wipe around the toilets and things before I put them back on the little hooky things for people to use. Yeah, it was the shittest cleaner of all time. Right, my darlings, we've come to the end of crusty bed sheets, which brings us full circle back to Nopjes. Love you all. Thank you for being part of Katie's Arms. Thanks to everybody on the road that stops now to say, Katie's Arms! It's become a thing, my darlings. It's become a thing. And I think it's great. I think it's great that we're laughing at the madness. Keep an eye on this green thing. Hold on, where's the diagram? Oh, shit, lost my pen lid. Watch them doing this to you. Watch, this is your boobs, look. This is what they're going to try and do now, is change you from COVID lockdown to green lockdown. Expect to be encircled by stories with the weirdest hook of all, like, oh, Belinda from Sheffield says she's not going to eat another burger. She's going to go vegan. Watch how they try and feed it to you. They'll find ways to get this to you. Crafty bastards. And for Christ's sake, don't read Dan Wootton's column. The guy is a complete dildo. Right. Love you all. I'll speak to you later sometime. I better go and see reception and see if they're actually trying to throw me out of this hotel. Bit rude, frankly, darlings. Try and keep laughing. Oh, and I had a task for you, which was Elton John, Rocket Man. I absolutely advise putting that on full, playing it in your kitchen, possibly getting naked, maybe some olive oil, maybe add a bit of salt and spice. I don't know. Rocket Man. Play that. You'll feel better. And Bitch is Back. Obviously, that's my anthem. And when I come to Birmingham, that's what we're going to play. The Bitch is Back as I walk into the mosque. No, not that. Okay. Much love. Bye-bye.